This time, I will not faint.
Double, but kill. Team kill.
What's going on, everybody? ChromeOnRust here to talk about a little bit of Overwatch and what to expect exactly, because there is going to be a free beta for you to play. You're not going to have to pre-order the game or anything like that. I just kind of want to read through this web page that I'm going to be throwing up on the screen for you. I will leave a link in the description below if you want to check it out for yourself, or if you just want to follow along, because I'm pretty much just going to be reading through some of this. So it starts out, prepare to clash in the battlefields of tomorrow and take your place in the ranks of Overwatch, a legendary force of soldiers, scientists, adventurers, and oddities. In the open beta, assemble your friends and try out the ultimate team-based shooter for free, May 5th to the 9th on PC, PlayStation, and Xbox One. So the deployment schedule of Overwatch for early access, now this is if you pre-order the game. The early access portion of the open beta is going to begin on all supported platforms May 2nd at 4 p.m. PDT, 11 p.m. UTC, and early access key will be required to play. Now that's if you want to pre-order the game. You already know that you're going to be playing it. The company that you order it from should send you a key then, as long as you order it by April 29th. So it is the 24th of as of this recording, so you got a few days to still get into the early access portion of the beta, but there is an all access portion as well. The all access portion of the open beta will begin on all supported platforms May 4th. Now, from everything I've seen, this is going to be the date that you're allowed to download the game, and then the following day, May 5th, is when you are actually going to be able to play. The same thing holds true for the early access. It's going to be starting the beta on May 3rd, but it looks like they're going to be allowing you to download the game on May 2nd, so that way they're not flooding their servers or anything like that. There's going to be some installation instructions on this webpage as well. Like I said, if you want to check it out for yourself, link will be in the description. So going over a few of the open beta frequently asked questions. What game content is going to be available during the open beta? This was pretty exciting news. They're not leaving anything out. During the open beta, players will have access to the Overwatch full roster of heroes, maps, and launch day features, including competitive play, custom games, loot boxes, and weekly brawls. We want players to get a feel for the complete Overwatch experience, so no content will be restricted or locked. I thought that was pretty sweet, because during their stress tests on the servers, their server stress test weekends, they were limiting it to just a couple levels, so not everybody was really able to experience the entire game. All the characters and everything were available for you to play, but the levels were not, so really happy about that. How many heroes are going to be in Overwatch? There are 21 heroes. Now, something about the heroes, there are some that are a little bit more OP than the others. The game is pretty well balanced, I'll give it that, for having 21 heroes that they're trying to balance with each other. Some heroes definitely are going to seem stronger than others. Some people just play a hero extremely well. Like, that is what they just completely burn themselves out on. And yeah, they get really good with that hero. But luckily, most of the time, unless that player's skill is just, beyond the level of everybody else on your teams, you should be able to take them out as long as you are swapping heroes. That is a big part of this game. You don't want to always just play one hero from the start to the finish of the game. It allows you, unlike games like League of Legends and just typical MOBAs, basically, where you pick a hero, that's it, you're locked in. The other team can't pick the same hero as you. No, none of that is in Overwatch. Everybody could be the same exact hero. If both sides want to play all Reaper, like you see up here on the screen, everybody could play Reaper if you wanted to. And that kind of gets us a little bit into the weekly brawls. There's going to be weekly brawls as well, where they are going to have game modes like that, which I do believe is going to be the frequently asked questions. So we will scroll down a little ways and see what it says. How many maps are going to be available in Overwatch? There are 12 maps. There's Assault, Escort, Assault/Escort Hybrid, and Control. So there's kind of like 3 game modes, and then they jammed, 2 of the game modes together to create a 4th one. But Assault is going to pretty much require you to capture point A, and then you're going to move on, and you're going to have to try to capture point B. If you do that, you win the match. Or if you defend both those points, then you win the match in that case. Escort is what people are calling like payload maps. You basically follow around a vehicle. When you are standing next to it, it'll start to slowly move. Another player stands next to it. You got 2 people on it. It's going to move a little faster. 3 people, a little faster once again, but that is the max. If 4, 5, or 6 people are standing on the payload, it's not going to move any faster. Not that I'm saying you don't want your entire entire team on it. Sometimes just being like a little ball of death, all standing on the payload, is a great idea because it actually is going to heal the attacking team slightly. So if you're trying to push the payload, it actually is going to give you a little bit of life regeneration back, which is pretty sweet. So how many players does each mode support? It is going to be a 6v6 format. That's all they have at this point. There's no 2v2s or 3v3s or anything like that. 6v6 all across the board. So what different play modes are available in Overwatch? There's quick play, which is you're just standard. You jump in, you start fighting people. It's not going to be real competitive. There's play versus AI, which of course, you could fight versus AI if you're just really trying to learn the game, trying to get your shooting skills down. You don't want to keep getting wrecked all the time. I've even done this myself, played versus AI a couple of games just to kind of get a feel for a shooter, because really I haven't played shooters on the PC very much at all. I think the last one I played was probably I'm forgetting the name right now, but it was it was a few years ago, we'll just say that. There's going to be competitive play as well, which is going to be just what you think, a ranked play that is going to track your records. That's pretty cool. People do take it a lot more seriously. You're probably going to be seeing people baby rage quite often. Then there's custom game modes. You just invite your friends. Y'all have a good time. I did just say y'all. Weekly Brawl, which is going to be pretty much like Hearthstone if you are familiar with that, which every week the Brawl format is going to be changing. Just like I said that, if we all want to play all Reaper, we could do that, but there are going to be some game modes during the weekly Brawl, like the one that's live actually right now. If we go to play, there's a weekly Brawl called High Noon, and it requires you to play McCree. Everybody plays McCree, and that's it. It can be kind of fun, maybe a little frustrating at other times, but if it's not the weekly Brawl for you, you just wait until the next week or play one of the other game modes and you're going to be all set. So it also says there's players can also learn the ropes in a series of training modes. There's tutorial, practice ranges, and practice versus AI. So there's some additional stuff for Xbox Live and PlayStation users. Basically, it says if you have an Xbox, you are going to need Xbox Live to play in the open beta. But if you own a PC or PS4, what are we on? PS4s? I don't even know. PlayStation Plus account, you are not going to need a PlayStation Plus account to play on the beta. But once the game launches, you are then going to need that PlayStation Plus account. Is your progression going to carry over from the open beta? Say you're doing real bad and you just really want to troll around, figure out the game. All that progress is not going to be carrying over to the actual live game, so don't worry about that. And will PC and console players be able to play together? No. Is there any sort of maintenance plan during the open beta? They said there's no maintenance planned or downtime planned for the Overwatch beta, but I can tell you though that it isn't a beta. It's a beta. Things could happen. They could have to take the game down, and that's going to be a good thing. If they find out enough bad things going on with the game, please do take it down. Get things straightened out before the actual launch. We don't want to see another D3 blow up. Although I don't see that happening, because in this particular beta, they have opened up all the content for people to be able to play, unlike Diablo 3, where they opened up a third of the first act, and they thought that was going to be enough. Unfortunately, as we know, there was a lot of issues with Diablo 3, but that's old news. I don't hold that against them. That was just a point in time. I'll throw up the system requirements for the open beta. The minimum is going to be like a Core i3. The recommended is going to be a Core i5. Memory is going to be 6 gigabytes for recommended, or 4 gigabytes of memory for the minimum requirements. Can you stream? There is not going to be any disclosure agreement on this. Can you run a tournament? Yes. I think a lot of this just really isn't going to be applying to us. What is the business model for Overwatch? Overwatch is currently available to pre-order on Windows, PlayStation 4, and Xbox One. For more information, please visit buyoverwatch.com. And then the game, of course, is going to be released on May 24th, 2016, which is actually, a month from today. So a month from today, we're all going to be able to play if you do buy the game. But then in just a couple days, if you pre-order, you're going to get into the early access, which is going to be on May 3rd. And then the open all access, they're calling it, is going to be on May 5th. But it does look like the prior day, as I said, they are going to allow you to download the game. Now there are a couple things, and the reason that I didn't really show the web page is there are a couple things in game that I do want to share with you, because you know, the options settings for a lot of games, there's a lot of good features in there. I'm not really going to go over the video, I'm not really going to go over the sound or anything like that, but the controls is pretty huge. You know, you're going to want to find that mouse sensitivity that is right for you. A lot of people think that the faster your mouse sensitivity is, the better you're going to be. Unfortunately, that is not the case. I mean, if you can maneuver around at an extremely fast, you know, sensitivity on your mouse, that's going to be great, but most people are not going to be able to be accurate. I think I have my DPI set at around 2000 or something like that, and I'm sitting at a 7 sensitivity. I can update you on that if you're really curious on exactly what I'm running, but you know, I'm not like the best player or anything like that. So there is controller sensitivity as well, which is pretty sweet. If you just plug a wired Xbox controller, Xbox 360, or a wired Xbox One controller into your computer, it's going to pick up the game, and it actually already has the controls laid out for you. This is actually how I started playing Overwatch initially, because I didn't know the game, I didn't know the heroes, I didn't know the maps, I haven't played a shooter game. Unreal Tournament is the one that I was thinking of. I haven't played a shooter game since Unreal Tournament. I don't remember exactly which number, but it was a while ago. You know, it wasn't on Xbox, it wasn't on Windows 7. It was like a XP or something like that. I haven't run XP in many years. So, but you can change the reticle, and you can also change the color of the reticle, which is pretty sweet. You can go through and change all your controls, but the one real thing that I wanted to show you and why I brought you over here is you're going to want to check this out. If you find there's a hero, we'll just use Mercy. Mercy is a healing hero, and she has a beam that she can attach to people, and that will heal them, or she can use her other click and she can damage boost them. But there is a control for that where you can toggle beam connection, and you can turn it on. That means that you're not going to have to sit there and hold down the button. This is huge for me. I really hated holding down the button. I was listening to a podcast, and I heard that you can actually go through and select a different, you know, settings for every individual hero. So let's say there's you want to change your forward movement for this hero for whatever reason. I don't think you'd want to do that, but let's say you do. You can pretty much go through and change every action that you would hit on your keyboard. You can change them for every single character. I don't know if they're doing this for all games or whatnot, but this is really sweet in my opinion, and that's pretty much what I had to show you. Now, last thing is going to be, you can always skip the kill cam if you like. I do recommend turning this off, even though sometimes you really don't want to see yourself die. It is, though, going to display where the enemy team is, because it's going to show you the player that killed you. It's going to show you what they saw when they killed you, basically. It's going to show you how far along their ultimate is. It's going to show you, you know, the teammates, if they happen to be on the screen. You know, it's going to show you them as well. So that is pretty sweet. And the last one is going to be kill feed display. I would definitely recommend turning this on. It's really just going to allow you to know when players have died. So if you see a lot of your team dying, you're probably going to want to hold off for a while, wait for all your team to respawn, and then try to push in as a unit. If you don't do that, you're going to start going in one by one, and you're probably going to end up losing at that point. So that is pretty much all I had for this video. I do want to thank you for stopping by. I have been really enjoying Overwatch. I would definitely recommend playing it. If you enjoy first-person shooters at all, it is a really solid game in my opinion. So as I said, that's going to be it for me. I am ChromeOnRust for Core Expert Gaming. Like, subscribe if you would. I'm out of here, and you all have a great day.
Dive up.
Get ready. They're coming back.
I'm on fire.